Hey everybody, it's Mike with V12. V12 is the world's most advanced blockchain. I'm here to show you how you can stand up your very own V12 compute node. And the reason why you want to do that is it can make you up to $200,000 for the rest of your life. True story. Let's get into it. All right, so the first thing you want to do is go over to the GitHub page. So it's vet the vote. That's the name of the project. The Git repo is V12 node setup. So go ahead and scroll down to the instructions and just follow these instructions step by step. I'm going to show you right now how to do that, and you'll see just how easy this is. All right, so I've downloaded the code on my local laptop here. So I'm going to walk you through these steps step by step. The first step is you got to clone the software. You got to basically download it to a server. So I'm on a server here. I'm already logged in via SSH. I'm going to just copy and paste these commands. So it's going to clone this, type in my password. And if I do an ls, you'll see it's gone ahead and downloaded that folder. So let's cd into it. And there's the software. All right, so step 2, we have to create a secret. This is known as a Docker secret. What this is your it's your V12 private key. So to set up a Genesis node, in other words, to set up your very own blockchain, you have to have a Genesis node. You have to have a private key. This is your super secret password that no one should ever know. And that's why it's called a Docker secret, because Docker has stuff built into it to safeguard this password so that nobody ever gets it. So I built a script that is embedded in the code repo. So all you have to do is enter this command here, and the system will prompt you for your private key. Now I'm going to create a separate video on how to create your private key, so let's not worry about that here. But all you have to do is paste it in right here and then hit enter. I'm going to hit Control-C because I've already done that earlier. So that's, what you have to do to put in your private key. So that's step 2. Okay, so step 3 is very similar. This is where we have to create a service user account. It's basically a special user account on the server that V12 needs in order to run properly. So I've also created a command embedded in the code. All you have to do is run this command and it will prompt you for all the right stuff. And actually what it's doing is it's just creating the user account. Has to be created with this user ID. That's very important. And it has to be called V12 node. The command I pasted does that for you automatically. So that is step 3. Step 4, first thing is, we have to create the required directories on the server. So this first command here is just an ls command. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Linux, this basically just shows the contents of that directory on the server. So I'm just doing this to show you that there's nothing there right now. So there's no hocus pocus, no smoke and mirrors going on. I'm doing this live, real time, to give you an idea of how easy this is. So I need to copy these next 4 commands, and they are going to create the required directories and also change the permissions of those directories. And then if I just do that ls command one more time, now we can see that it's created those 2 directories right there. So I believe that's step 4. So let's go on to step 5 here. So this is the fun part. This is where the software is actually built on your server using Docker. Now I pre-built this earlier, so this ran through pretty quick. This could take up to 30, maybe even 40 minutes. So you want to, step away, get a coffee or something like that and come back to it. I went ahead and did it earlier so that it would be fast for the video. But that's basically what it does. It builds the software into a bundled, they call it a Docker image. It's basically a software bundle that then we're going to run in this next step. So step 6, we're going to run this in what's known as a Docker stack. It is also known as a tech stack. So there's actually 2 different services that run here. There is a Tor node that runs so that you can communicate with your V12 node over the Tor network. That is a privacy-preserving VPN network that is run by volunteers all over the world. It is quite possibly the most secure VPN that you can get, and it's free. It's absolutely free. So as a part of the V12 tech stack, what we're doing is we're spinning up a Tor node. So we're strengthening the network. We're adding our computing resources to the Tor network. That makes it safer for everybody. So the other thing this will do is it will spin up the V12 miner node, or the V12 compute node itself. So it's gone ahead and done that. You see here, it says it's created this service, which is the V12 node, and this service, which you can see it's the Tor node. So that's pretty quick. Now step number 7, you don't have to do this step. This is just for like your GWiz file. But this is going to spit out the log files, and you can see just like that. I'm going to stop this so we can scroll up and see what's going on, because this all happened pretty fast. You can see that the V12 blockchain is incredibly fast. It starts mining right away. It mines 1 block every half second, which is blistering fast. This can process up to 10,000 transactions a second, and I'll tell you why that's super important in just a minute. Let's go ahead and look at this log. So you can see it basically tells us every step of what it's doing. There are scripts embedded within it that spin up the node. It provisions a bunch of stuff. It does a lot of very sophisticated stuff auto-magically so that you don't have to. This took me over 6 months to build, literally. So this is pretty sophisticated stuff. So if you go down through here, you can walk through step by step. But the exciting part, I think, is when we get down to where it actually starts to produce blocks. Now what it's doing is it's generating what's known as the Genesis block. This is very important. It is the very first block to ever be produced. This is the first block produced right here live. Well, I guess not live because I'm recording it, but you get the idea. So that I'm not pre-mining this, and that you have every opportunity to mine blocks of your own and thus earn the V12 token reward, just like Bitcoin. So this is, well, just like Bitcoin, but better, and I'll talk about that here in another video. But if we scroll down, you can see, where are we to the spot here? Scroll a little further. Here we go. You can see that it, it's block number 2. I think the one above it should be block number 1. So it produced the very first blocks of the V12 blockchain live. So that's how easy it is. It is so easy it took, maybe all of a few minutes to spin this up. This runs on very lightweight hardware. It is extremely energy efficient, and it is the world's fastest blockchain. And the upgrades that I'm going to add to it will make it the world's most secure blockchain. This is absolutely the top choice to run our financial infrastructure on top of. And I'm going to tell you all about why. But the key reason is this. Because every one of you can spin up your very own node, and that's why I'm showing you how to do this, because I want every one of you to spin up your own node. Because if we get this online together, and I'm going to show you why we need to do that, how we can all do that, how we can all band together to make this the de facto financial network for America, we can all profit by making up to $200,000 each, and that's for 42,000 node operators. $200,000 each every year for the rest of your life. That is based on solid economics, solid financials, and I can back that up, and I will give you all of the evidence to prove it in the videos coming up. So thanks, stay tuned. As always, stay frosty and stay strapped. See you later.